Welcome, traveler. Tonight we walk where few have ever dreamed to tread, beyond the mortal world, beyond time itself, lies Takamagahara. Dusk settles gently over an old mountainside shrine, its lanterns glowing like small islands of amber in the gathering dark. The air is cool, touched with cedar, stone, and the faint sweetness of distant blossoms. You stand at the base of the worn steps, and for a moment, the world seems to hold its breath around you. The quiet is deep, almost expectant. Soft footsteps approach from the shaded path. The wanderer emerges, their cloaks stirring as though brushed by an unseen breeze. Threads of pale light cling to the fabric, shifting like reflections on water. They come to stand beside you, their gaze lifting toward the dimming sky. This shrine has witnessed countless ages, the wanderer says. Once, it was a well-known crossing. Few remember its purpose now, but the kami have not forgotten. They turn toward the torii gate ahead, its red pillars vivid even in the fading light. Tonight, traveler, the path awakens. Step with me, and we will walk beyond the boundaries of the mortal realm. The last glimmer of daylight fades, yet the air brightens. From above the torii, small motes of radiance begin to fall, thin, shimmering particles drifting downward like luminous snow. They gather along the stones, across the wooden beams, around your feet. A soft hum rises through the ground, subtle at first, then clearer, ringing like far-off chimes stirred by a celestial wind. The wanderer glances back toward you with a faint smile. Do not hesitate. The way invites us. Beyond the gate, the falling light begins to stretch and shape itself. A narrow line forms, a silvery curve rising into the heavens. Slowly, it solidifies into a radiant path suspended above the world. This is the Ame-no-Ukihashi, the floating bridge of heaven, revealed in a bloom of gold and silver light. You step forward. Ripples of brightness spread beneath each footfall, traveling along the bridge in soft, fluid waves. Beneath you, the world disappears into swirling clouds lit from within, their colors shifting between dawn gold and twilight blue. Far below, stars glimmer as though floating in a sea of mist. The wanderer walks ahead, silhouetted against the growing radiance. Takamagahara awaits, they say, their voice steady, calm. A realm where the heavenly kami dwell, untouched by time, illuminated by divine light. Let your spirit be unburdened. What lies ahead has shown since the first dawn. As you ascend the luminous bridge, a distant glow expands on the horizon. It grows brighter with every step, shaping itself into a colossal gate of pure brilliance. Golden light sweeps outward from its surface, warm and soft, like the breath of a rising sun. The wanderer slows, their eyes reflecting the splendor ahead. Awe touches their voice. Behold, traveler, the entrance to the high plain of heaven. The light deepens. The gate opens, and the journey begins. The floating bridge stretches on in a quiet shimmer until its radiant span dissolves into a soft, golden haze. As you near the end of the ascent, the glow ahead expands until it feels as though you are walking directly into sunlight, made solid. The air grows warmer, lighter, filled with a gentle vibration that hums against your skin. Then, the bridge ends. Your foot steps onto something that looks like cloud, yet feels as firm as stone polished by centuries of divine hands. A vast plain spreads out before you, endless, luminous, suspended beneath an eternal midday sky. The light here does not glare or blind. It wraps itself around you like warmth remembered from childhood, gentle yet immeasurably bright. Shadows exist only as soft hints beneath your steps. You take in the view. Far on the horizon, towering pillars of gold rise like distant mountains. Nearer still, drifting gardens sparkle with floating petals that emit their own faint radiance. Everything feels vast, boundless, untouched by decay or time. The wanderer steps beside you, their cloak stirring in the celestial breeze. This is the high plain of heaven, they say, their voice softened by reverence. Takamagahara, home of the Amaterasu, the heavenly kami. Light does not merely shine here, it lives. As they begin walking, you follow, your steps leaving faint ripples that fade instantly back into the glowing surface. The air carries a faint chime with every movement, as though the realm itself sings with your passing. You may feel the stillness, the wanderer continues. It is not silence. Listen closely, and you will hear the breath of the kami, the murmur of ancient creation. This place is woven from the first dawn, and that dawn never ended. As you move farther onto the radiant plain, soft shapes drift in the periphery of your vision. Wisps of light rise from the ground and spiral upward before dissolving. Some linger longer, forming faint outlines. Humanoid shapes, wings made of shimmering mist, faces shaped from brilliance rather than flesh. You sense one of them drawing nearer. A glow approaches from the right, small at first, as bright as a firefly, then as large as a lantern, then finally taking on a form. A slender being of pure light hovers above the surface, its outline shifting gently like a flame in slow motion. Radiance pools around it, casting soft reflections across the plain. The wanderer inclines their head. "A Hikari no Kami," they say quietly. "One of the lesser spirits of light. They tend the pathways of this realm." The light spirit drifts closer, hovering before you. Though it has no eyes, you feel its attention settle upon you with undeniable warmth. When it speaks, the voice is clear, melodic, and carries the faint tone of a distant bell. "Welcome, traveler." The spirit's glow brightens as it circles gently around you, leaving a thin trail of shimmering particles in its wake. "You walk where only the blessed are permitted. Your steps have been accepted by the bridge. Your presence resonates with the dawn light." It pauses, hovering just above the luminous ground. "If you follow, I will guide you to the Palace of Radiance, where the great light dwells." The wanderer inclines their head again. "We accept your guidance." You continue forward, the spirit gliding ahead, its glow forming a soft path through the endless brightness. As you walk, the realm changes subtly. Clouds beneath your feet thicken into firmer ground, and delicate structures rise from the plain. Tall spires shaped from braided beams of sunlight, arches that curve like frozen waves of gold, gardens where each flower glows with its own inner spark. "Each place you see," the wanderer says gently, "was shaped not by hands, but by divine intention. Here, the kami will something into existence, and it takes form. Nothing fades unless they wish it." The spirit hums softly, as though agreeing. Far ahead, a towering brilliance fills the sky. A grand structure emerges from the golden horizon, a palace formed entirely of light. Its walls ripple like silk in the breeze, yet remain solid and immense. Each terrace, each column, each sweeping roofline seems woven from sunlight itself, shifting between warm gold and gentle white. The Hikari no Kami slows, drifting beside you once more. "The Palace of Radiance," it says. "Home of she who shines." The wanderer's expression softens. Amaterasu's hall. Her light reaches every corner of this realm, for it is born from her. You approach the first steps of the palace, each one carved from condensed brilliance. As you ascend, you feel warmth rise through your body, not heat, but something purifying, as though old weariness melts away with each step. The spirit hovers at the entrance, its glow pulsing gently. "Come, traveler," it says. "The great light awaits your presence." It motions forward, the doors of the Palace of Radiance opening in a silent sweep of golden brilliance. You step inside, and the world blooms in light. The light within the Palace of Radiance unfolds like the petals of a celestial flower. It cascades through vast chambers and open halls, each formed from shimmering brilliance that shifts with every step you take. Columns rise like beams of captured daylight, and floors ripple with gold, reflecting your movements in soft waves. You cross the threshold beside the wanderer, and the air changes, warmer, softer, carrying a subtle vibration that seems to hum in time with your breath. The Hikari no Kami drifts ahead, guiding you deeper into the palace's heart. This hall, the wanderer says quietly, is closer to the source of all light in this realm. The brilliance you feel is her presence. You walk beneath archways that shimmer like liquid sunlight. Every surface feels alive, responding gently to your passing. Light curls around your hands when they move, and the quiet footfalls sound as though muffled by warm radiance. At the far end of a long corridor, a doorway brightens. Its glow deepens until it becomes a soft, white gold that illuminates everything around it. The Hikari no Kami slows, hovering beside you. "Beyond this veil," it says, "you will find she who shines." The wanderer nods, placing a hand lightly on the glowing frame. "Be respectful, traveler," they say. Her radiance is older than dawn itself. With a gentle push, the doorway opens. Radiance floods outward, not harsh, not piercing, but impossibly pure. It fills your vision completely, dissolving all shape and shadow. For a moment, you sense nothing but warmth and an endless expanse of golden brilliance. Then the light softens. Shapes emerge. A vast chamber stretches before you, its walls open to the eternal sky. Ribbons of light drift through the air like slow-moving streams. The ground beneath you glows, pulsing in steady rhythm. And at the center stands a figure. She is too bright to look upon directly. Her form is outlined by flowing waves of light, each movement shifting between pure gold and soft, sunrise warmth. Her presence feels familiar, like stepping into the first morning you ever remember. Amaterasu. She turns toward you. The radiance around her deepens, yet instead of overwhelming you, it bends gently inward, dimming just enough so you may stand in her presence. Her voice flows through the chamber like sunlight warming cold stone.
Welcome, traveler.
The sound holds no weight, no force, only compassion, clarity, and a calm that slips easily through every corner of your being.
You walk far from your world, yet you carry a quiet spark that resonates with this realm.
Her light brightens slightly, casting a soft glow around your silhouette.
In you lives the capacity for illumination, not the brilliance of the sun, but the tender radiance of understanding.
The wanderer bows at her side. You feel warmth coil gently around you, not pressing, but resting like a comforting hand. Amaterasu continues.
The soul is a lantern, traveler. Some fill it with worry until its flame flickers. Others hide it, fearing what its radiance might reveal. But you...
Her light curls toward you, soft as silk.
You allow your light to breathe.
A faint breeze passes through the chamber, stirring threads of brilliance from her figure.
Know this,
She says.
Illumination is not simply brightness. It is clarity. It is harmony. It is the quiet ability to see yourself honestly without turning away.
Her tone shifts, touched by something wistful.
This is the lesson my brother once forgot.
Her radiance dims briefly, becoming tinged with soft silver at its edges.
When Tsukuyomi shattered the trust between us, the balance of day and night faltered. We have not walked the same path since.
She lifts her hand, and subtle warmth flows through the room.
Yet I grieve him not with anger, but with hope. For night and day must coexist, just as the heart must hold both gentleness and strength.
The wanderer watches quietly, hands folded, their eyes reflecting the gold of the hall. Amaterasu extends her palm toward you. A thin beam of light forms above it, a strand of pure guidance, soft and steady. It arcs gently through the air and rests upon your chest, sinking into you like warm breath.
Take this,
she says.
a ray of my radiance, to protect you as you walk the heights of Takamagahara. It will not shield you from hardship, but it will guide your steps through uncertainty.
The warmth spreads slowly, settling into something calm and luminous deep within you. The chamber brightens once more in response.
Carry it generously,
She murmurs.
and it will shine when you need it most.
The light around her shifts. She turns slightly, as if gazing toward distant realms beyond the palace walls.
Go now, traveler. Others await your presence. But remember, the sun's blessing is yours.
The wanderer bows once more. The chamber light swells gently, then fades back to its serene glow. You step away, escorted by the drifting radiance. Behind you, the goddess's warmth lingers, steady, calming, and quietly eternal. As you leave the radiant halls of Amaterasu, the golden brilliance softens behind you. The air shifts, first warm, then gradually cooler, touched by a serene stillness that settles on your skin like a quiet breath. The wanderer walks beside you, their steps light, unhurried, guided by an unseen rhythm. Ahead, a corridor forms where light and shadow twine together. The walls shimmer with silver threads, and the floor reflects soft blue luminescence, as though coated in moonlit water. The golden glow of Amaterasu fades entirely when you step inside, replaced by twilight that feels neither night nor day. This passage, the wanderer says, is a threshold between the realms of sun and moon. Few walk both paths, but Tsukuyomi has agreed to receive you. The corridor curves gently. The light dims further, though never into darkness. Instead, a soft radiance follows you, pale, cool, and steady. All sound fades except the faint echo of your footsteps and the quiet hum of celestial equilibrium. When you reach the end of the corridor, a silver veil shimmers ahead. It ripples without breeze, as though breathing. The wanderer touches its surface with the back of their hand, and the veil parts like calm water. Beyond is the silver realm. You step into a vast expanse of deep blue and soft silver. The sky arches high, filled with drifting stars that glow like droplets of frozen light. A large luminous moon hangs low, close enough to feel its presence. The ground beneath you resembles polished obsidian sand, cool but not cold, shimmering faintly with each step. A quiet peace envelops everything here, a stillness that feels alive, listening. The wanderer's voice softens. Tsukuyomi's realm reflects the nature of night. Not darkness, but contemplation. Not silence, but the quiet rhythm of cycles and dreams. As you look ahead, a figure emerges from the silver horizon. He approaches with movements smooth as flowing water, tall, calm, defined by lines of pale moonlight that trace his form. His robes shift like drifting mist, rippling with soft blue and silver hues. His face holds the serenity of a still lake, untouched by wind. The moonlight deepens around him, shaping a gentle aura. Tsukuyomi. He stops a short distance away, observing you with eyes like polished silver. His voice flows out in a soft, cool tone, measured, reflective, resonant with ancient calm. Welcome, traveler. You have stepped beyond the warmth of the sun into the stillness of the moon. He gestures lightly, and the silver sands beneath you brighten. Here, night is not shadow, but clarity. It reveals what daylight overlooks. The wanderer bows respectfully. Tsukuyomi inclines his head in return before walking slowly across the shimmering ground. You follow, each step stirring faint trails of light. Night, he says, is the realm of reflection, of cycles, of dreams that guide without force. A gentle breeze moves through the silver realm, carrying faint echoes, whispers of distant memories, drifting thoughts, quiet hopes. They do not speak in words, but in feelings. Tsukuyomi continues. While my sister brings illumination, I bring depth. Under the sun, one sees the world. Under the moon, one sees oneself. He pauses, the moonlight gathering more brightly around him. The balance between us was once seamless. Day flowed into night, night into day, without discord. His gaze drifts upward toward the moon, and a quiet sorrow softens his expression. But harmony is delicate. When trust fractured between us, the rhythm faltered. I accepted her anger, for it was justified. The silver sands pulse faintly beneath your feet, as if responding to his emotion. know this, he says gently, turning toward you. I have never ceased honoring her light. For even night requires the memory of dawn. The wanderer listens in silence, their posture reflecting understanding rather than intrusion. Tsukuyomi steps closer, his presence cool and calming, like the surface of a moonlit lake. You carry a spark of her radiance within you now, he says. But even the brightest light becomes clearer when tempered by quiet perception. He lifts his hand. A small sphere of silver blue light forms above his palm. Soft, steady, pulsing with the slow rhythm of a distant tide. Accept this, traveler. The orb drifts forward, hovering just before your chest. It dissolves into a thin ribbon of moonlight, wrapping gently around you before sinking inward like breath. A calm expands within you, subtle, deep, allowing thoughts to fall into quiet patterns. The realm around you sharpens. Colors appear more delicate, sounds more remote, yet clearer. Tsukuyomi nods. This blessing will not change what you see, but how you perceive it. When confusion clouds your path, let stillness be your guide. The moon brightens overhead, casting long, soft beams across the realm. Go with balance, he says softly. For where the sun illuminates the path, the moon illuminates the traveler. He steps back, allowing the wanderer to approach. They place a hand on your shoulder with gentle assurance. It is time, the wanderer murmurs. The path of storms awaits. The silver realm fades slowly as you walk toward another veil of shimmering night, leaving behind the calm presence of the moon god and carrying his quiet perception forward. The veil of twilight behind you dissolves into drifting mist. As you follow the wanderer forward, the air thickens, stirred by a low, distant rumble. A faint vibration travels through the ground, subtle at first, then pulsing with steady rhythm, like the heartbeat of something vast. A sudden gust of wind sweeps across your path. It does not push you back. Instead, it lifts you gently, carrying you forward in a swirl of cool air. The wanderer braces themselves with practiced ease, their cloak whipping around them as the wind gathers strength. Do not resist, they say over the rising currents. This realm does not greet with stillness. It it welcomes with motion. The mist ahead bursts open into a vast stormlit expanse. Clouds churn in layers of silver and deep blue, stretching endlessly above. Lighting flickers within them, not sharp or violent, but like veins of white fire tracing the sky. Beneath your feet, the ground forms from condensed wind, shifting gently with each step. Thunder echoes in distant rhythms, more musical than harsh. The wanderer stands tall, despite the whipping gusts. This is the domain of storms, they say. A realm shaped by tempest and renewal. Here, we meet the kami, who walks between fury and forgiveness. The air stills for a moment. Then, with a sudden swirl of spiraling wind, a figure forms atop a tall crest of cloud. He descends in a single sweeping motion, carried by the storm itself. His presence strikes the air with intensity, not overwhelming, but undeniable. Susanoo. His hair flows like a dark current against the silver sky, streaked with strands of cobalt light. His garments ripple in layers of storm-gray cloth, edged with flashes of lightning that pulse like quiet breaths. His eyes, sharp yet not unkind, study you with the weight of centuries. He stops before you, the winds calming around him, as if bowing to their master. His voice rumbles like distant thunder, deep, steady, powerful. So, traveler, you walk the path of storms. He folds his arms, the faintest smirk tugging at one corner of his expression. Few cross from my sister's radiance to my realm without faltering. The wanderer bows. Susanoo inclines his head in return, then turns his gaze back to you. Do not fear the tempest, he says. Storms are not chaos without purpose. They strip away what is weak, so that what endures may stand stronger. Wind gathers around him, swirling in spirals that rise toward the sky. I learned this truth not through triumph, but through exile. He steps forward, and the storm light shifts to illuminate him. When I allowed my fury to rule me, I was cast from the high plane of heaven, not as punishment alone, but as a lesson. His eyes narrow, though not unkindly. In the mortal realm, stripped of privilege, one faces oneself without the comfort of divine light. Thunder rolls, soft, resonant, like an echo of memory. I confronted the storm within, he says, Only then did I understand that strength means nothing if it crushes rather than protects. He gestures for you and the wanderer to follow. The storm shifts, forming a pathway along a winding ridge of cloud. Winds spiral upward like dancing currents, never striking, only swirling in elegant rhythm. You step into the path beside the wanderer. As you walk, bolts of soft lightning arc above, never striking the ground, instead illuminating the swirling expanse in gentle pulses. The storm breathes around you, moving in patterns that seem too intentional to be mere weather. Susanoo walks ahead, his presence steady, a calm center within the tempest. You see, he says, a storm is not simply force. It is change. He lifts a hand, catching a strand of lightning between his fingers. The light bends gently, like a ribbon guided by his touch. Whether one resists or accepts it determines what rises in its wake. He stops atop a tall crest where the winds form a spiraling pillar of pale blue light. The wanderer steps aside, allowing Susanoo to face you directly. For a moment, the sky quiets. Clouds drift in slow, steady currents. The thunder stills into a soft hum. Susanoo's expression changes, less fierce, more contemplative. "Traveler," he says, his voice deep but softened. "You walk with the blessings of my sister and brother. But light and stillness alone cannot guide every path." He closes his hand, and a small swirl of wind gathers in his palm, silent, silver-touched, carrying a faint pulse like a heartbeat. "Accept this," he says. "A breath of the storm, not to bring force, but clarity in motion, strength in change, courage when the ground shifts beneath you." The swirling wind drifts from his hand toward your chest. It touches gently, sinking inward like cool air drawn on a calm night. Something awakens within you. Subtle, steady, a resilience shaped not from rigidity, but from movement. Susanoo nods once. "Carry it well," he says. "For the storm does not fear change, and neither should you." The pillar of wind behind him brightens, opening into a path that leads beyond the storm-swept horizon. The wanderer rests a hand lightly on your arm. "Come," they say. The court of the kami awaits. The storm's roar softens behind you as you walk onward, carrying the calm power of the tempest within your chest. The path beyond the storm realm settles into calm as the last rumble of thunder fades behind you. A gentle wind trails along your shoulders, carrying the faint scent of distant rain, a reminder of Susanoo's parting gift. Ahead, the sky brightens from silver blue to a clear, radiant white, and the clouds beneath your feet grow firmer, forming a wide ascending slope. The wanderer walks beside you with steady steps, their cloak catching the soft currents. The celestial realms are not held together by light alone, they say. Balance is not simply the absence of conflict, but the presence of harmony. Today, you will see the heart of that order. As you reach the top of the slope, the terrain opens into a vast plateau of shimmering white stone. Towering archways rise on all sides, woven from ribbons of light that twist together like braided starlight. At the center lies a great circular hall, open to the sky, its floor carved with intricate patterns resembling streams, mountains, fields, and clouds, all merging into one another. The court of the kami. A steady hum of energy flows through the air, calm and rhythmic, like the pulse of a living world. As you approach, faint shapes gather within the hall, spirits of wind trailing ribbons of translucent silver, river kami flowing like water wrapped in human form, mountain kami towering in gentle, patient stillness. Harvest spirits glow with warm, amber hues, like late summer sunlight drifting across fields. The wanderer gestures toward the gathering. Each kami here guides an aspect of the mortal realm. They shape the seasons, guide the waters, sustain the land. Together, they maintain the delicate rhythm of all existence. As you step into the circle, the spirits shift, making space for you. Their presences feel welcoming, not imposing, but curious. A river kami glides forward first. Their form shimmers with flowing currents, droplets drifting from their hands before dissolving into light. Their voice is smooth, calm, shaped like the soft chorus of running water. Traveler, they say, bowing lightly, you carry blessings from sun, moon, and storm. Walk gently, for your path now intertwines with the currents of many realms. The water around their feet ripples without touch. Know this: flow is not surrender. It is wisdom. A river does not resist the stone. It shapes it. When obstacles rise, Let yourself move, not in fear, but in grace. They step back, dissolving into a faint, drifting mist. A heavy, yet gentle presence approaches next, the mountain kami. Their body resembles smooth stone etched with faint veins of silver light. Their steps are slow, but each one seems to settle deeply into the ground, anchoring the very air. Their voice rumbles softly, like the sound of distant peaks shifting under snow. "Traveler," they say, inclining their head, "strength is not stiffness. A mountain endures storms because it stands with purpose, not defiance." They place a hand over their chest, where a faint glow pulses like a hidden ember. "Remain rooted in what is true within you. Even when winds rise, even when paths shift, let your foundation hold." Their presence recedes with the quiet steadiness of a resting earth. Warm light gathers behind you. When you turn, a harvest kami approaches. Their form glows in shades of copper and gold, carrying the scent of ripe grain and autumn warmth. Every movement feels gentle, nurturing, like sunlight filtering through leaves. "Traveler," they say, "all things move through cycles. Growth, rest, renewal." Golden petals drift from their hands, dissolving before they touch the ground. Life is not a single season. Do not grieve the times of stillness. They are the soil in which new brightness grows. They smile, a serene curve of warmth, before stepping back into the assembly. Around you, the gathered kami murmur in soft harmony. Their forms shimmer with unity, flowing from one presence to another, as though connected by an unbroken thread. The wanderer steps forward, placing their hand gently on your shoulder. "Here," they say, "you see the truth of Takamagahara. Not a throne of control, but a community of purpose. Each kami shapes its domain, not alone, but in cooperation." The court resonates with quiet energy. Wind spirals through the open pillars. Water hums beneath the ground. Mountain light anchors the hall, and warm amber radiance glows like a heartbeat. You feel their harmony fill the air, a tapestry woven from countless threads of purpose and intention. "These spirits," the wanderer continues, "hold the balance of nature in their hands. Rain follows drought. Dawn follows dusk. Rivers carve their paths. But none acts in isolation. Harmony is the foundation of their power." A wind kami drifts close, brushing past in a whisper of cool currents. a spark of motion flows through the air, the rhythm of endless breath. The court brightens for a moment, as though acknowledging your presence. The gathered kami bow, each movement a gesture of unity. The wanderer lowers their voice. You have received teachings from the forces that shape the world. Sunlight, moonlight, storm, and nature itself now walk with you. They turn toward a rising archway of shifting light. Come. Your journey continues. The Star Forge awaits. With the harmonious murmur of the kami behind you, you follow the wanderer toward the next realm, carrying the weightless wisdom of nature's balance within your heart. The archway of light ahead widens as you follow the wanderer, its form shifting like a gate carved from drifting constellations. Beyond it, the air grows cool and crisp, touched by the faint scent of metal, starlit dust, and something older, something that feels like the breath of the cosmos before the first dawn. You step through the arch. At once, the world opens into a vast expanse of shadowed brilliance. The sky here is not sky at all, but an endless tapestry of slowly swirling nebulae, deep blues, purples, and silvers drifting like painted fog. Stars sparkle in slow pulses, suspended in the air as though caught in mid-formation. The ground beneath your feet is a smooth, dark stone laced with glimmering streaks of silver. Each step echoes faintly, as if the stone responds with quiet resonance. The wanderer walks ahead, their silhouette illuminated by drifting starlight. This realm, they say softly, is older than the high plane and deeper than the halls of light. It is a place of creation where concepts become form and form becomes memory. As you move forward, the air hums with a gentle thrum. Strange shapes float across your path. Unfinished stars, translucent tools, fragments of celestial metal that shift their shapes like soft clay. A forge stands at the heart of the realm. Not a mortal forge of stone and fire, but a colossal structure of cosmic threads woven into the shape of an anvil, a furnace, and a workshop, its pieces drifting slightly apart, held together by glowing currents of light. Flames rise from the furnace, but they burn cold, flickering in shades of white, blue, and pale lavender. Beside the forge stands a tall figure. Their form is sculpted from mist and starlight, wrapped in long strands of shimmering fog that coil around their arms. Sparks of light drift from their fingertips, and their eyes glow with the pale radiance of distant galaxies. The wanderer bows. Ame-no-Murakumo, they say with reverence. Divine smith of the heavens, forger of celestial essence. The kami turns toward you. When they speak, their voice is layered, gentle yet deep, echoing with the hum of the stars themselves. So, traveler, they say, you have crossed realms of sun, moon, storm, and nature. You arrive with many lights within you. They gesture toward the forge, where floating shards of radiance drift in lazy orbits. Here, we craft that which shapes the unseen, the essence of thought, intention, and spirit. With a sweep of their hand, a cluster of glowing fragments gathers. They swirl into their palm, forming a compact orb of golden dust. Behold, Ame-no-Murakumo murmurs, courage. The orb brightens, taking on form, stretching, lengthening, until it becomes a thin blade of light that hums softly, as though eager to act. The kami holds it gently. Courage is not force, they say. It is direction. The blade folds in on itself, dissolving into sparks. Another motion of their hand draws a cloud of silvery particles. They swirl delicately, drifting like soft snow before merging into a smooth, shimmering sphere. Serenity, they whisper. Not stillness, but balance. The sphere vibrates once in a pulse that feels like a slow breath before disintegrating into fine silver mist. The wanderer watches with quiet awe. The things they forge here are not weapons, they say softly. They are truths made tangible. Ame-no-Murakumo steps closer to you. Their presence is gentle, yet immense, like standing before a mountain that hums with starlight. Within you, they say, 3 blessings now dwell: sun, moon, and storm. But there is space yet for one more: remembrance. You feel the air shift. A fragment of star stuff drifts down from above. A tiny speck of white light, no larger than a grain of sand. It floats toward the forge, and the cold flames brighten, pulling it inward. The kami extends their hand over the furnace. The star fragment glows brighter. Brighter still. Then, with a soft chime, it takes shape. Not a blade, nor a shield, nor an object of purpose, just a small, radiant crystal. It pulses gently with warm silver light, as though holding a distant heartbeat. Ame-no-Murakumo lifts it carefully. "This," they say, "is a fragment of memory. It holds no power of force, but a power far quieter, the power to remember what shapes you." They hold the crystal out toward you. "Accept it, traveler." The crystal floats forward, stopping before your chest. Its light washes over your skin, soft as moonlit water. When it touches you, it sinks inward like a breath, settling deep, leaving a faint echo of warmth behind. The wanderer smiles gently. A reminder, they say, that each step you take in these realms shapes a part of your spirit. Ame-no-Murakumo inclines their head. "Carry it with care. When your path feels distant from itself, the star's memory will guide you home." The forge dims slightly, its flames receding into a low, steady glow. The wanderer touches your arm lightly. One realm remains, they say. The place where light returns to dawn. Ahead, a path of soft silver light begins to rise, curving upward toward a horizon painted in pale gold. Ame-no-Murakumo speaks once more. "Go, traveler. Your journey nears its union." With the star's memory glowing quietly within you, you step forward, walking toward the gates of dawn. The path of silver light rises gently ahead, curving upward like a soft arc drawn across the heavens. As you follow the wanderer, the colors around you begin to shift. Silver fading into pale gold, twilight dissolving into the earliest breath of morning. The air grows warmer, carrying a faint hum of awakening light. "This is the threshold," the wanderer says, their voice quieter than usual, as though reverence has softened it. "The place where night yields to dawn, and where all things, light, shadow, storm, find their accord." The ground beneath your feet transforms into luminous stone streaked with pale amber. Wisps of glowing mist drift upward like rising breaths from the world below. With each step, the horizon brightens, forming a thin line of radiant gold. At last, you reach the crest. Before you spreads a breathtaking vista. a vast expanse of shimmering ethereal clouds, gently rolling in hues of soft rose, pale gold, and morning blue. The horizon glows brighter still, forming a colossal arch of light that stretches across the sky. The gates of dawn. They are not doors, nor walls, but a monumental convergence of light, gold, silver, and soft blue intertwining like braided rivers. Each current pulses in harmony, illuminating the air with warmth and calm. The wanderer stands at your side, their cloak billowing in a slow, rising breeze. Here, they say, is where the first light touches all realms, where beginnings and endings merge. The air shifts. A warm surge of radiance gathers to your left. Golden particles swirl, followed by the unmistakable glow of Amaterasu's light. Her presence does not take a strict form, but a silhouette etched in flowing gold, her warmth spreading gently across the gates.
Traveler,
her voice flows, luminous and steady.
the light you carry shines with clarity. You have walked through brilliance and shadow, and each step has reflected the truth you hold within.
A soft warmth stirs in your chest, the echo of her blessing. Then a cool breeze sweeps across the space. It gathers to your right, weaving silver strands that float like drifting moonlit silk. Tsukuyomi's presence emerges in a calm silhouette of serene blue-white glow. "Traveler," he says, "your vision has deepened. Stillness walks with you now. Where confusion rises, quiet will guide your perception." A faint, cool resonance settles beside the warmth within you. The air trembles next. A rolling gust descends from above, swirling around you in spirals of deep blue and silver lightning. Susanoo's presence appears as a bold, storm-lit outline, steady, powerful, yet calm. "Traveler," he says, "the storm within you does not rage. It breathes. You have learned to move with change, not resist it. Let this strength remain with you." A subtle pulse of wind stirs inside your chest. The three lights, gold, silver, and storm blue, remain distinct, never merging, never touching, yet resonating in perfect harmony. Their presences form a single moment of unity, not through closeness, but through balance. The wanderer lifts their gaze toward the gates. "This is the truth of the realms," they say softly. Each force exists on its own, yet none stand alone. Harmony is not the absence of difference, but the acceptance of it The gates of dawn brighten. A gentle breeze rises from the horizon, stirring your hair, warming your skin, cooling your breath. It feels like the touch of every blessing you've received. Sunlight's clarity, moonlight's quiet, storm's resilience, nature's harmony, and the stars' memory. The three divine presences shift, their lights pulsing once more. Amaterasu's voice glows warmly.
Walk with illumination.
Tsukuyomi's voice flows gently. Walk with clarity. Susanoo's voice rumbles softly. Walk with courage. Their silhouettes fade, not abruptly, but like dissolving echoes dissolving into dawn. The gates remain bright for a moment longer, then soften into a warm glow, their intensity calming to a gentle morning hue. The wanderer rests a hand on your shoulder. Your time in this realm comes to its close, they say, their tone touched with both pride and softness. You have walked the heights of Takamagahara and carry its blessings within you. A path begins to form behind you, thin strands of gold weaving into the familiar shimmer of the Ame-no-Ukihashi, the floating bridge of heaven. It stretches downward through layers of glowing mist, guiding the way back toward the mortal world. The wanderer steps toward it. Come, they say. I will walk beside you until the veil closes. You follow, the warmth of the gates lingering behind you like a final sunrise. The bridge beneath your feet glows with gentle pulses, echoing each blessing you carry. As you descend, Takamagahara begins to fade, not disappearing, but gently withdrawing, its brilliance softening into distant radiance. The clouds thin, the sky dims into twilight gold, and the divine expanse retreats beyond the veil of mortal perception. The wanderer walks quietly, their presence steady and calm. You have seen the realms of the kami, they say, as the bridge nears its end. And though your steps will return to your world, the light of this journey will not fade. The final glow of the bridge dissolves into a soft shimmer. Ahead lies the familiar shrine, peaceful beneath the early starlight. Takamagahara fades into gold behind you, leaving warmth in its wake. Your journey has reached its threshold. The final shimmer of the floating bridge fades beneath your feet, dissolving into motes of soft light that drift upward before vanishing into the night. The cool scent of cedar and earth replaces the celestial air. You stand once more upon the stone path of the mountainside shrine, lanterns flickering quietly along the steps, as though they have been waiting for your return. The sky above is deep and star-filled, touched by the faintest glow of approaching dawn. The world feels unchanged, yet something inside you hums with the warmth and calm of the realms you have just crossed. The wanderer steps beside you, their cloak settling around them after the long journey. They look around the quiet shrine, a gentle smile touching their features. "The mortal world greets you again," they say, their voice softer than before, touched by the lingering presence of the heavenly realms. But you carry more with you now than when you first arrived. A breeze rustles through the cedar branches, carrying the faint echoes of distant realms. Sunlight's warmth, moonlight's cool serenity, the soft pulse of storms, the harmony of nature, and the subtle glow of star-forged memory. Each presence lingers like the final notes of a celestial chorus. The wanderer turns toward you, their expression thoughtful. "You crossed the high plane of heaven with steady steps," they say. "You walked through radiance, stillness, tempest, harmony, and creation. Few can claim such a passage, and fewer still can hold what they have learned." They walk a short distance along the stone path, fingertips brushing lightly against the wooden frame of the torii gate. The glow from the lanterns reflects gently in their eyes. "The blessings you received were not gifts of power," they say, "but reminders. Sunlight to guide, moonlight to calm, wind to strengthen, nature to harmonize, starlight to remember. Each one will rest quietly within you, rising when you need them." You follow their steps, the stones cool beneath your feet. The air of the shrine feels clearer now, as though touched by the lingering presence of Takamagahara. The wanderer pauses once more beneath the torii. "The kami do not walk the mortal world openly," they say, "but their echoes move through every dawn, every quiet night, every changing sky. When your path grows dim, remember what you saw beyond the veil. You have walked among the divine, and the memory will not leave you." A soft glow touches the horizon as the first hint of morning begins to bloom. The world shifts gently around you, the familiar returning, the celestial retreating. The wanderer steps back into the shadows of the shrine, their silhouette framed by lantern light. Their voice drops to a final whisper, warm and steady. "Rest now, traveler. Let the echoes of Takamagahara linger within your sleep. When the stars awaken again, I will return, and together we shall wander once more. Until the next tale, traveler, sleep well. The lanterns flicker softly. The night settles around you. And the journey gently closes.